Good evening and a warm welcome, sir. I sincerely appreciate and admire your commitment to create and to spread messages around the burning societal issues. Your support to change agents helps us in our endeavor to spread the right message as we strongly believe awareness is the greatest agent of change. Today, I'm here to discuss with you about the most recent father son duo custodial murder in one of the southern parts of Tamil Nadu, that is Tuticorin. As you know, a father and a son were taken into custody for keeping the shop open just beyond the stipulated time, and what happened after that has left the entire nation shocked. The two were legibly tortured, assaulted, remanded, and they were also taken to the hospital where they were pronounced death due to breathlessness. So after a couple of days, there were reports on the murder which said there were multiple injuries in their gluteal region and they were bleeding from the rectum. Their knees were pressed, and the team of policemen with friends of police carried out this intimidating act. The sad reality is that there is no FIR on this case and there is no criminal offense filed against the policemen. As a professional senior psychiatrist, you've come across people from all strata of the society now. And as I know, you look at the things in a very profound manner. So, how do you see this incident, sir?
Good evening. First of all, my heartfelt condolences to the family. It's a very, very unfortunate topic to talk. It's not a very pleasant topic to talk,
True.
but it's our duty to talk on this subject. First of all, two people were taken into custody. Then finally they didn't return live home within a fact 72 hours. That's all. See, the first FIR which has been already filed in this case shows that very trivial sections. None of the sections are non-bailable sections. Even if you are punished on that, you will be given maximum 3 months or 6 months on that particular counts. When a section on which this type of taken into custody was done, the Constitution has given lot of provisions, checkpoints. You see, an innocent person should not be vindicted or punished.
Correct.
So the Constitution has clearly have different levels of filters. The FIR is made, then the person is taken to a doctor, whether he is fit to be remanded. The doctor may not know under what section it is bailable or non-bailable. The doctor is only concerned about the physical health of the individual.
Okay.
The main reason for taking to the doctor is doctor has to find out and examine whether there is any injuries, whether is there any violence, is there any torture like that. And then with that certificate, the person is taken to a magistrate and magistrate has to issue the order for remand. During that submission, what magistrate usually does is, he goes through the FIR or goes through the different sections. Then he has to come to a conclusion whether under this particular session, whether the person needs a remand or not. Once a person is remanded to a jail or sub-jail or whatever may be the available thing, then it becomes a exchequer on the government. See, he has to be taken care of. These are all necessary. For example, if a person has stolen about 3 coconuts in a shop, you cannot remand him for 15 days because the total cost of it will be only 50 rupees.
Correct.
So like that, if it is a trivial one, most of these sections under which the FIR was made is only very, very trivial one.
Yeah.
So the magistrate has to apply his mind or wisdom, and then he has to issue a order to the jail. This is what the procedure. So a common man can be saved at different levels. The doctor can say no, or the judge can say, or the magistrate. That's called, he is not called as judge, he is called as magistrate. So the magistrate can also say this is a very trivial reason. That too, the present situation, you know very well, the whole country is under lockdown for more than 100 days.
Yes.
And most of the jails are releasing people already committed to the prison on their personal bonds because they should not get infected.
Yeah.
So in this case, I don't know what was the hurry in sending all those things, that too, night. See, this is what happened. So all these areas, after this person is taken to the jail, the person who received the person has to check whether the person is in fit condition or not, or any injuries or not, like that.
Yeah.
So many checkpoints has been completely crossed or ignored or gone to the winds. I don't know how this has happened. So yes, simple complaint of not abiding the curfew. That's what. Nothing else is there. 2 persons were taken into custody and they were physically
Yeah.
assaulted or the manhandled or tortured, whatever way they use. This is what the story now. The person is no.
And I'm interrupting you here, sir. The recent development in the news, which is flashing today, it says the father and son are coming to the shop around 7:45. The shops are supposed to be closed at 8 p.m. at night. So if you see, they are well before the time and they were about to close the store. At the same time, it is definitely not, as you mentioned, rightly said, it is not even a cognizable offense. Probably, even if he is keeping the shop open, even if he is producing the code, I think he will get away with 3 months of sentence. Now, what has happened? The brutal behavior of the policeman resulted in the death of 2 father and a son of the family. Both are the breadwinners of the family, which is even more adding to the worry for the family. Not only for the family, it has become a societal problem now. How do you see this, sir?
Yeah. You see, all these things is being discussed. See, any type of these type of high-handedness or an atrocity or an injustice or whatever may be, so many stakeholders are nowadays climbing on this subject. First, you can take the family. The family says, my family has been murdered. That was the charge. Then the lawyers, the police, the politicians, ruling party, as well as the government, the officials, then the NGOs, activists, people. Like that, there are different people looking at this particular issue, because this is not a simple issue. This can happen to you or it can happen to me at any time. So I am not going to discuss this particular event in that angle, whether it is a torture or whether it's an injustice, whether it is a just or whether it's legal or illegal, murder or death, or I think you can use any type of word. No way the Jairaj or Benny is going to come back. That is the real truth.
Yeah, that's a reality.
And another thing is, you see, to my age and experience, this I am hearing it for the past 15 to 20 years in our midst.
Yeah.
This, I think something is happening at a different level. Even while we are talking about this case, we come to know that there is some other similar case in the same place about a week back.
Yes.
And the same way, while discussing this, we hear that about another 40 kilometers away, something is happening like this.
Yes.
I appreciate the police sincerity in controlling the law and order. There is nothing wrong about it. They are in charge of the law and order as well as the safety of the people.
They are also consistent about this.
Yeah. And what happens is, all these persons now are the whole society is leveling charges against. One is at assistant superintendent level, deputy superintendent level, like that to the down to the local police constable. All these things clearly shows that everybody is somehow or other connected with these particular things. See, what is happening is when unjust is happening, it is our moral bound duty as well as obligations to prevent, to interfere, and to take action.
Yes.
Everybody can take action when some injustice is going on around you. You can take things into action.
Yes.
But these are all people empowered to take action against all type of irregularities and criminal behavior. So the other people cannot take action. That's what it shows.
Yes.
And as well as different levels of filter also has been bypassed. They are all not police people. They are all different levels. I don't know what happens at different levels. So I look at the whole process. What is happening? Now they say that this has been given to the CBI. Usually people actually protest and fight with the government to send a case to CBI. In this case, the government is wanted to give the CBI. People are now talking about that also. Why you are chanting about the CBI?
Yes.
They are asking us to do the arrest of the person large at 302 IPC or 304 or something like that. All these things being discussed, pros and cons, taking sides. All those things are related to this particular case. Now, actually, I read somewhere or observed a comment that these type of cases are so many cases, hundreds of cases are pending.
Yes.
No justice was given. So what is really happening? Now, in this angle, I wanted to see that my aim is this should not happen once again. I don't want to look at these things in a sympathetic way or in a empathetic way or in a other ways. My worry is my own people of this state. What will happen to them in the future? If these things are keep on going like this, discuss about this case, then another week you discuss about another type of case, different type of adversity. So I look at this not as a criminal behavior, it is a shame on our society. I can quote this as a social adversity. Why the society has ruined like this? People are talking in support of these things, people are talking against of these things. I couldn't understand at all. Everybody conscience clearly shows. See, the biggest magnanimity of you is accepting your mistakes. Then only you will get corrected. When somebody is trying to rationalize, on any count can we rationalize these incidents? Can we rationalize or justify? Even the person who committed, I don't think he can justify these type of actions. So I want to look at in a scientific way as well as in a psychological perspective why the society has gone to these type of behavior. Whether the society's tolerance or acceptance, recognition of these behaviors. Even people are telling that this is being done by friends of the police or something like that they call.
The volunteers.
Volunteers. So you hire volunteers to hit people. I don't know what type of language it's being used. So these type of things are there. Now I want to see in a different perspective, in a society's perspective.
Yes, sir.
My aim is this should not happen even once. This should not repeat. Whether you punish these fellows or they punish them by themselves, it is immaterial. Or you give compensation or give so many things. I think there is no value. These are all valueless.
Correct. Yes.
So what happens is you must look at this and find out the real cause. I think everybody knows this, what has happened. Even the lawyer appearing for this type of accused also knows what has happened. But his duty is to appear for him. That is a different matter.
Yes.
The government has to protect or defend their own departments. That is a different matter. We are not interested in all those things. Law will take its own course. More than that, the justice will definitely prevail. Nobody can hide the truth. It will come out one day or other. I think in this particular case, the High Court has taken a very laudable initiative and trying to preserve justice. See, I used to tell that when I go for an expert witness to the courts and other things, the duty of the judiciary and lawyers are to establish justice, not to win cases or lose cases.
Okay. Yeah.
But what the lawyers and advocates are doing is they talk only that I am winning the case or losing the case. That's not the thing. See, the duty of a doctor is to reduce suffering and extend the life. It's not success of the operation.
Yeah.
They say that the operation is success, the patient is failed. That's not like that. The same way, these type of people is to establish justice. So definitely it will come. And not necessarily the law has to punish. The individual themselves will get punished. So these things, I am not going into things. I am worried about how to prevent these particular things. So psychologically, we must do the whole event and autopsy.
Okay.
What made them to do like that? See, yeah, so assistant superintendent of level is such an experienced person. He is an educated person. He knows the law. Deputy superintendent is also an educated person. The particular person who is inspector also an educated person. Everybody, nowadays even the constables are highly educated. So everybody is educated. Everybody is got selected by a public service commission or a uniformed commission selection. They were given a highly qualified training. Why they behave like that? That is my question. They know the law. They know the humankind, they know the value of life, everything they know. So what is the next one, what I think is, the particular, whether I want to know whether this police uniformed service, they teach them or train them, what is the real responsibilities? This doubt itself I have now.
Okay.
See, for example, one person, for example, if the lower level or higher level, 1 person or 2 persons or 10%, the whole 90% or 98% of the Satanakulam police station is not in order. How this is happening? 10% I can accept. 15% I can accept. The judge, the magistrate who has given the report to the High Court clearly shows he has been intimidated, he has been harassed. He could not even conduct the inquiry. A judicial magistrate says in a police station.
He could not, yes.
Not in a public place, open space. So something is grossly abnormal. So I think that scientifically we must do all those things and look at this in a different perspective to prevent this never happens in our society hereafter.
And I'm only reminded of one of the South Indian film where Arjun says, after coming to know that at every level there is an offense happened, he'll say, "Hey, everybody." That's the dialogue he'll say. And this is one real situation where you're also, agonized by that, and you're saying everybody at all levels have been party to this particular act. Similarly, I wanted to ask you is, you are a person with more than 4 decades of experience. You are someone who's advocating mental health for people and mental stability and being very emotionally stable. But for a person like you yourself seem to be very agonized by this particular incident in Satangulam. So, what is the solution for this incident, sir, from your
See,
perspective?
first of all, the education system, the selection process, training process has to be reworked now. We would have to check how these people got selected. See, recently, today evening, I saw in the TV that some Madras DIG has shifted 80 unstable uniformed people to some other place.
What do you
That
mean
means,
by unstable, sir?
yeah, they are mentally not stable, it seems.
My God. Okay.
So that clearly shows they are aware that they have some problem. You understand?
Yeah.
So prevention is better than cure. So the selection process, there is some pathology. Or that you would have to blame the selection process, accept these things. See, my selection has not selected proper persons. My result is not good. My training is not good. It has not produced the proper custodians of the care of this public. See, what is the meaning of the police station? Police station is in charge of preventing criminal behavior, maintaining law and order in that particular territory assigned to them. They have a border, they have a limitation. So when it is not being done, I doubt their selection. Doubt means not this particular individual. The whole selection process itself is something wrong. Most probably nowadays we believe in these marks, and we know how to get marks. Then the training. The training has not given them proper exposure to how to deal a human being. It is not a human dealing. The psychology means behavior. Behavior means interaction of the self with the environment. How I interact with the environment. How the environment interacts with me is called behavior.
Okay.
This behavior is determined by my mind. My mental health must be proper.
True.
Unless otherwise I am mentally healthy, my decisions will not be healthy. My outcome will not be healthy. My behavior may not be healthy. So totally this behavior is an unhealthy behavior.
Exactly.
So you have to test the unhealthiness or healthiness of these people. So even if you select somebody, they must be tested on the human values.
Okay.
Then after the training, I think 5% of the people can be allowed to go. They are not fit for the training. See, this happens in military or most of the uniform services. You recruit them. After coming to the department only, you come to know what type of role you have to behave. At that time, you can do the counseling, screen them, and then you can say that you are not fit, or they can ask them that I am not fit. This must be exposed to them. So what happens is this process has to be done. This is what I think that this has to be done.
Yeah. So you are conclusively what you're saying is the entire selection process has to be revisited. The training given to those officials and the policemen has to be revisited. At the same time, there must be a sustained level of training programs here and there so that the proper intervention will result in good behavior of the policemen. And you rightly summed up, policemen are there to protect the interest of the people. Yes,
No, in this, one thing I want to add is,
please.
See, for example, when I talk about this may be mentally not healthy, immediately the people should not come to the conclusion that they are mentally ill. See, when the psychiatrist or somebody says, you see, even you, every common man thinks, is these fellows are human? That's what the question first thing.
Exactly.
See, whether these people are having any conscience, that's what they ask.
Yes.
So what is the thing is, mentally ill is different from mentally not healthy. Mentally ill is different from mentally unhealthy.
Okay.
So we would have to test them periodically, their mental stability and mental health, not only for the physical health and physical fitness. So there may be some internal problems for them. They are also human beings. So as you say that even though I am stable, I'm very much anguished by this particular incident. Definitely, I'm also a human being. I'm also made of skin and bone. Nothing different from other people. So definitely these people are put under stress, placed under things, are put under unwanted places. See, what usually happens is, for example, I do an act which is unlawful. At that time, I get out of it without any consequences. Then I become used to that. It does not produce any anxiety in me. It does not produce any guilt in me. That too, when it is being rewarded, I think automatically the behavior gets strengthened. So this nexus is going on. These people should be able to say no when some unlawful things are being instructed to them. This must be taught to them, not mere obedience. Because, you see, when they say that, see, people nowadays being advertised, daily we get apps, advertisement in the things, they do placard, they do the running flow, things are there. Throughout the state, whenever you go out of your house or you go out station, please inform to our police station that you are out of station, leave your contact numbers, we will take care of your house. Yeah. I sincerely ask you, will you do that hereafter? Because of course,
we're actually losing trust with the policemen, in fact.
See, this is what you plan, you do so many things which is being practiced across the globe and try to implement it without making that, putting the cart before the horse. See, without all technologies, the police were functioning very nicely. The police were very friendly. See, when I was as a student, I know that when I was a student in the school, most of the sports day and annual day, the inspector of police will be the chief guest.
Okay.
When he talks, we used to think that we must become a police officer. In the college, most of the functions, the superintendent of police is the chief guest. Yes, such a recognition and respect that people have. Why these people are behaving like this? I think something basically wrong. This is what I think. Based on this, what I humbly submit is the Home Department as well as the judiciary should submit or refer these people to do a psychological assessment of all these people, whether they are mentally healthy. Even they can allot about 10 these type of cases and see why these people are behaving like this. Okay. Whether they have been trained to do this. But I cannot accept that the whole 32 people in the South Ankulam police station is like this. Only I think in the latest report says only one lady head constable is giving the truth or something like that. That too, she is upright. So that clearly shows these people have been something basically wrong. We have to assess. Once we identify those traits, those characters, I think in the screening of the uniform services, we can adapt and eliminate them, not only by the chest measurement and height.
True.
You can see most of the police people in across the globe. Obese people are there, women are there, tall people are there, short people are there. We don't want merely for 6 feet to 2 inches or at the chest measurement. We have to see that whether these people have these type of traits. If they are these traits, they must be eliminated from the selection process. See, unless otherwise you see as scientific way of assessment in the selection process, training process, and dealing with them periodically, then only this can be stopped or this can be prevented. Even in this process, people can ask, any society, 10% of the as a minority amount of people will be abnormal or deviant or pervert. I am repeatedly using the word not mentally ill. A deviant pervert cannot be allowed to manage the society.
True.
Normal is different from abnormal. Illness is different from physiological. See, health is different from illness. Illness is different from health. These people, if they have these unwanted traits or characters, they must be properly identified and they must be eliminated from the taking in. At least by this we can prevent. One or two people will be like this. Yes, I accept. Even some doctors are not healthy people. Even some people who are managing all type of things also not healthy. Can we subject everybody to psychological assessment? Yes, we have to submit because these people deal with arms, ammunition, and power.
True.
Any person who has been given to deal with power, I think they must be tested periodically. There is no doubt at all. Unless otherwise you do that, this cannot be prevented. For example, even if you take this case, all these people are charges are proved and punished. What will happen to their family? Imagine a deputy superintendent, he has his family. Inspector has got his family.
True.
Sub inspector has got his family. The young police constable has got his future. What will happen to their husband, wife, as well as the father, mother, and other things? What is the stigma? Is it not our duty to prevent these things? I think that it's the right time the government should form a particular committee or some experts to assess these people. Based on their findings, don't arrive at a conclusion legally. Let the law takes its own course. We are not going to say that they are mentally ill or something like that. Let the law take its course. We must assess and say that certain particular traits or characters are not fit for this type of managing things. And they must be in the training made to believe and understand, not made to know. They should not be only told. See, telling is different from knowing. Knowing is different from understanding. Understanding is different from assimilating. Like the different levels, this ethics and morals should go to their mind. Then I think the society will be at peace. I think this has to be done. This has to reach the ears of the government as well as the judiciary. They must be referred for psychological assessment. And then we would have to assess a couple of cases and submit a report so that the whole selection process and training process, this must be inculcated. Then only this can be prevented. So I look this in here, not on the legal perspective. I want the society to be safe for my children, my grandchildren. If these things continue, that's what I say, that how can I go and inform them? See, the people say that the torture was happened throughout night and it heard about 500 meters.
Yes.
Whole thing is, there is no CCTV recording is there. There is no such thing called the police station was locked for the night. Then how can a person can come and give a complaint? That means they get used to this type of things, the Satankulam people. Really, I feel very much disturbed by this. So this has to be looked in a scientific way and try to get a proper solution and remove the evil from our society so that the whole next generation will be very having lot of sense of security and certainty about that future. I hope this will happen. Then the society will be at a safer place.
All right, sir. So you rightly summed up the entire incident. Instead of doing a post-mortem of the existing case or the incident, you have rightly focused on the preventive action as well as the corrective action of the particular incident. And thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, your opinion, and you have come up at the right time to voice your opinion on this particular matter. And I'm sure people watching this will take this to different heights, and also officials watching this will take the appropriate necessary action so that this doesn't get repeated in future. Thank you very much, sir, for joining Change Agents, and I appreciate your time once again. Thank you.
Thank you.